Welcome back in. In a world with breaking hearts, people forced from their homes, and persecuted minorities, Fiddler on the Roof remains a timeless classic. The musical explores the theme of facing progress while honoring tradition. New at 6, a preview to the Lexington Theatre Company's latest production with a message that still resonates after 60 years.
I think it's a classic story that tells through the ages that we can all relate to.
For 60 years, Fiddler on the Roof has been part of musical theatrical culture. In that time, its story of tradition, love, and acceptance have become even more profound.
Choreographing the show has brought up so many memories of my own family history and my own family life, and just being able to put that into movement and share that with this story is pretty awesome.
This show is exceptionally well written.
The Lexington Theatre Company's production will bring the story to stage through the talent of Broadway veterans, rising stars, and local talents.
It is just tremendous to have the opportunity to be a part of this community and this family, to bring this production and this story to Lexington in this way.
When the curtain rises, the goal is for the audience to see a familiar story.
We wanted to, keep some of that stuff in there and show the audience some of those classic, iconic moments.
While it's a classic story told many times before,
Jerome Robbins did an amazing job with Fiddler on the Roof, and I think we've seen it in other versions, whether it's the movie or different stage versions. It happens a lot because it's a good show.
Choreographer Colby Q. Lindemann wanted this interpretation to have some different touches.
We wanted to pay homage to Jerome Robinson's original choreography of Fiddler on the Roof and not take it entirely, so I wanted to put my own spin on it as a creative artist myself. I wanted to have my own flavor of choreography in the show.
Well, performances of Fiddler on the Roof begin Thursday and run through Sunday evening at the Lexington Opera House. There are also matinees on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. For tickets, go to lexingtontheatrecompany.org.